What if the Cleveland Browns are about to make the decision nobody expected them to make? Because while the football world keeps waiting for Deshaun Watson to reclaim the spotlight, Shedeur Sanders is quietly doing something far more dangerous for the Browns' quarterback competition. He is making it impossible to ignore him. And this time, the noise is not coming from his last name, his draft position, or the critics arguing about his personality. It is coming from the football field. Shedeur Sanders is throwing the ball, building chemistry, and forcing Cleveland to ask a question that seemed almost ridiculous not long ago. Could the rookie who was once buried on the depth chart actually become the Browns' Week 1 starter? The answer is still unknown, but the competition is getting a lot more interesting. Because the first thing you have to understand about Shedeur Sanders entering this season is that he is no longer the same player who arrived in Cleveland as a fifth-round pick with a massive spotlight following him everywhere. His rookie year was complicated. He had to fight through a difficult start, a crowded quarterback room, and constant attention that had very little to do with what was happening on the field. Every mistake became a national conversation. Every bad game became evidence for the people who had already decided he was not good enough. And every confident moment became another debate about whether he was showing leadership or simply showing too much personality. But the offseason gives him something he did not have before: time. Time to learn the offense, time to build relationships, time to understand what the Browns actually expect from him, and most importantly, time to compete without needing to prove everything in a single afternoon. That is exactly why his work with the Browns matters so much. The competition with Deshaun Watson is not some imaginary storyline created by fans. Cleveland has been evaluating both quarterbacks throughout the offseason, and the coaching staff has deliberately given Sanders opportunities with different units. He has taken first-team reps. He has taken second-team reps. He has been placed in situations where the coaches can compare him directly with the veteran quarterback standing between him and the job. And when the Browns gave Sanders the chance to run with the first team during minicamp, he did not play like somebody waiting for permission to belong. He attacked the opportunity. During mandatory minicamp, Sanders connected with rookie wide receiver Denzel on a deep touchdown pass. Then he did it again, finding Isaiah Bond for another explosive touchdown. Suddenly the conversation around Sanders changed, because there is a massive difference between hearing that a quarterback has improved and watching him repeatedly make the kind of throws that immediately get everyone's attention. And this is where the story gets interesting. One deep touchdown can be dismissed as one good play. Two of them in the same practice, now people start paying attention. The Browns did not draft Sanders to win a highlight competition. They drafted him because they believed there was something worth developing. But if he can show the coaching staff that he is processing the offense faster, delivering the ball on time, and creating explosive plays when the opportunity is there, then the entire calculation changes. Suddenly, he is not just the young quarterback with upside. He becomes the young quarterback who is actively pushing the veteran for the job. And that is the part Cleveland cannot ignore. Deshaun Watson brings experience. He has played at an elite level in the NFL before. He understands the speed of the league and has already been through the pressure of being a starting quarterback. But Sanders brings something completely different. He is younger. He is still developing. He has a chance to grow with the Browns' offensive system, and every quality rep he takes gives Cleveland more evidence that the gap between the two quarterbacks might not be as large as people assumed. The Browns are not choosing between an established superstar and an untested player who cannot compete. They are evaluating a veteran trying to regain his form against a young quarterback, trying to prove that he belongs at the top of the depth chart. That is why Todd Monken's comments matter. The Browns head coach has made it clear that this is a real evaluation process. Sanders has not simply been handed the job because of a few impressive throws, and Watson has not automatically been given the job because of his past. The staff is watching how both quarterbacks operate. How quickly do they process information? How quickly do they get the football out? Can they avoid negative plays? Can they stack good decisions together? Can they move the offense consistently instead of just producing one spectacular moment every now and then? Those are the questions that will ultimately decide the competition. And for Sanders, that is the part that could determine everything, because the talent is obvious, the arm strength is obvious. The ability to make difficult throws has never been the only question surrounding him. The real question is whether he can consistently play the position the way an NFL coaching staff demands. Can he get through his reads faster? Can he eliminate unnecessary losses? Can he keep the offense on schedule? Can he take a good play instead of waiting for a perfect play? Those details are not as exciting as a 50-yard touchdown pass, but they are exactly what separates a quarterback who looks impressive in practice from a quarterback who can actually win games on Sundays. And that is where the chemistry with his teammates becomes so important. A quarterback cannot build an offense alone. He needs receivers who understand his timing. He needs tight ends who know where he wants them to settle against zone coverage. He needs players who trust that the football is coming even when the window looks small. The Browns have been working on those relationships throughout the offseason, and Sanders has been given opportunities to throw to the players who could become critical parts of Cleveland's offense. Harold Fannin Jr. is especially important here. After an impressive rookie season, Fannin enters the new year as one of the Browns' most intriguing offensive weapons. He is the kind of player who can create problems for defenses because he can operate in the middle of the field, make difficult catches, and give a quarterback a reliable option when a defense takes away the deep ball. For a young quarterback, that type of target can be extremely valuable. When the pocket gets crowded and the first read disappears, having a player you trust to find space can keep a drive alive. And this is why every extra rep matters. The quarterback and the receiver do not suddenly develop perfect timing because a coach tells them to. They build it through repetition. They build it by seeing the same defensive looks. They build it by learning how each other moves. The quarterback learns when a receiver will break. The receiver learns where the quarterback wants the ball. Eventually, the throw starts coming out before the receiver even appears open. That is how chemistry is created, not through slogans, not through social media posts, through thousands of small decisions made together. For Sanders, those relationships could become a major advantage. The Browns do not need him to walk into the season and become an elite superstar overnight. They need him to understand the offense, trust his teammates, and make the right decision repeatedly. If he can build that kind of connection with the Browns' receiving group, then his development could accelerate quickly. And suddenly, the quarterback competition becomes much more than a debate about experience versus youth. It becomes a question of which quarterback is giving the offense the best chance to function right now. But while Sanders has been letting his throws create buzz, the old debate around him has not disappeared. In fact, it has followed him into the offseason. Rex Ryan recently criticized Sanders after a photo shoot involving Browns jerseys, arguing that a franchise quarterback needs to understand that there has to be more we than me. The comment immediately reignited the conversation that has followed Sanders since college. Is his confidence a strength? Is his personality too much? Does the swagger help him handle pressure? Or does it create unnecessary distractions? And then Cam Newton pushed back against Ryan's criticism, adding another layer to the story. Suddenly, the debate was not just about Sanders anymore. It became another chapter in the never-ending argument over how young quarterbacks are supposed to carry themselves. The strange part is that Sanders seems almost impossible to evaluate without people bringing up something beyond football. If he is quiet, people question his attitude. If he is confident, people question his humility. If he celebrates, people say he is too flashy. If he does not respond to criticism, people say he is avoiding the conversation. But there is one thing that can eventually silence all of it: production. And that is why the football field is becoming so important for Sanders. Every time he delivers the ball accurately, the debate gets a little narrower. Every time he shows command of the offense, the questions become more specific. Every time he builds chemistry with another teammate, the idea that he is simply a distraction becomes harder to defend. But the opposite is also true. If he struggles to process quickly, holds the ball too long, or fails to stack consistent drives, then the critics will have something real to point to. And that is what makes this competition so fascinating. Sanders does not have the luxury of being judged only on his best throws. Nobody does in the NFL. The deep ball to Denzel,
you